Hi, I'm Cece Zavala. I have a business in San Diego called The Studio, and I was at a rally last night held in San Diego for promoting safe schools in our community. It was great. I took a lot of footage that I hope you'll watch, and if you want to become involved in your own community, please go to the Trevor Project website to get more information. Enjoy the video. Thank you.
The recent suicides of gay youth from 11 to 18 has indeed broken America's heart and finally put a long overdue spotlight on bullying and teen suicides. For many of us, it has brought back memories of our own junior high school days. For me, it was being called wetback, spick, beaner, homo, queer. We have gathered here to join the chorus of American parents, families, youth, students from all walks of life. Enough is enough. We will not rest till all of our schools are safe. It is my honor to introduce and recognize two members of the state legislature who have records of protecting our youth. For the last 10 years, first as an assembly member and now as a senator, she has helped shepherd several safe school legislation as a member of the LGBT caucus. Please acknowledge State Senator Christine Kehoe. Would you come up here, Senator Kehoe? And this, the District 8, our City Council member Todd Gloria. We'd like to also welcome and acknowledge former Deputy Mayor Tony Atkins. And also another outstanding member of our City Council, a former school teacher himself, Council Member Tony Young.
Hey, Tony!
Last week, the San Diego Unified School Board took a stand on a Safe Schools resolution, and we look forward to working with them in the near future to ensure all our students are protected. Please welcome San Diego Unified School Board President Richard Barrera and San Diego Unified School Board member Sheila Jackson.
I also want to thank my colleagues on the school board, Sheila Jackson, Catherine Nakamura, John Lee Evans, and John DeBeck, for unanimously supporting our resolution last Tuesday night, which affirms the commitment of this school district to safe schools for every student. So if the kid is part of a strong community that's not only safe, but is a community where everybody values the unique gifts of everybody else, that's the time in your life where you start to thrive and where you start to believe that you've got something to contribute back to the community to make this world a better place. As a parent, what I want in our schools for my sons is that we create a community in our schools that not just tolerates my sons for who they are, but that celebrates my sons for who they are, for the unique gifts that they and I know that if we can create strong community within our schools, not just my sons, but all of our students will go through this time in their life and look back at it as the time when they discovered that they've got something truly unique and truly great to contribute to our community in the future. So if we as adults right now can come together and make sure that we're building real community in our schools, we're going to get payback many, many times over, because we're going to have an entire generation of students that come out of our schools believing in who they are and making our world a better place. And the people who have come together tonight are here because you're about creating a better world for us going forward. And I thank you for being part of the entire community that's taking ownership and responsibility for our schools. Thank you for your work.
Our next speaker is a trailblazer and has a long history for over two decades of fighting for equality and the civil rights of all San Diegans. Former school board member and the chair of the Department of African Studies at San Diego State University, Dr. Shirley Weber.
Good evening. One more time. Good evening. It's been it's a while since we've seen each other, but you should not have forgotten that. I'm honored to be here this evening, but I'm also saddened at the same time. And some of us can remember probably at least 20 years ago when I was on the school board, and we held a similar rally in Hillcrest concerning intimidation and attacks on individuals. And when I think of all the money we've spent in race-human relations and activities in this city, we should be much further along.
Yeah.
You know, one of the key issues when I was on the school board was the issue of bullying and diversity and creating an environment and a climate that allowed for every student to flourish. So surely being at the school board and then being at the university, I have to ask myself when things like the Compton Cookout occurs at UCSD, if those weren't the children we touched 15, 20 years ago, that we should have transformed their lives by the curriculum and by the attitude and the expressions that we had. We have to really examine ourselves. We have had, and it's wonderful to have another resolution. It's wonderful to have another resolution. But without some teeth, some action, some commitment, and some determination to make it work, we will be here again 20 years from now with another resolution. You see, there's nothing, and Richard has mentioned, there's nothing worse than intimidation. People understand what symbols mean, what words mean, because we have a history of knowing what they also really mean. That when someone calls you a name, it's not just the sticks and stones may break my bones kind of thing, but it really is about sticks and stones breaking your bones. It really is about putting KKK on my bathroom door many years ago where I used to live as a form of intimidation to threaten me with regards to action that would be taken if I continued to live in that community. It really is about hurting individuals. So sometimes people say, so what happens if a noose hangs in the library at UCSD? What does that mean? It's a signal to all of us. And we know as African Americans who join with others in this nation that we have a long history of carrying out our bullying, a long history of hatred that turns into action, and a long history of pain. So I want to challenge you tonight to really think about not just the resolution, that is very important, but what we're going to do as a community to make that resolution action. By now, we should be much more sensitive to diversity. We talk about diversity all across every campus, and yet we have so little diversity in terms of ideas and perspectives. We have a tendency to want the same idea reinforced over and over again, and when it does not, we become angry and we strike out. We have to change San Diego. And when we change the city of San Diego, we'll change the county, we'll change the state, and we must change this nation. The anger against our president is often driven by our fear of diversity. The fact that someone looks different, acts different, is different than they are. And we have to begin to ask those critical questions and be unafraid, once again, to discuss the issues of gender and race in this country. I want to challenge you to really, really make this resolution a real resolution. We had the passion and the drive years ago, but we gave up. And many of you know I always say that love and tolerance and patience and diversity is like a rare flower. It requires constant attention and care and watering and nurturing. But hatred is a weed, and it grows best in neglect. Let's stop neglecting ourselves.
In response to the drumbeat of teen suicides that we've all read about, U.S. Secretaries of Health and Human Services and the Department of Education in a joint op-ed wrote that protecting young people from bullying is as essential to their healthy development as making sure they have good teachers and access to health care. A powerful statement that refuses to reduce the treatment and harassment of our youth down to a simple rite of passage. It's much more than that. It's much more serious. Some of the media coverage over the past several weeks introduced a country to a group of youth that are not that different from your average American teen. Seth Walsh loved French fries and Pokemon cards. Asher Brown was a straight-A student. Tyler Clementi played violin in the Rutgers Symphony Orchestra. And Billy Lucas showed horses in Indiana. At the Hillcrest Youth Center, the county's only drop-in youth center for LGBT questioning and HIV-positive youth, we get to know our youth with the same care and with the same detail as soon as they walk in the door. At HYC, we focus on building trust and relationships with our youth in an effort to build their confidence, provide them with vital life skills, and to empower them to succeed and thrive in society. We work with local GSAs, administrators, and educators to ensure students know about available resources and how to access them. And we collaborate with organizations like San Diego Youth Services and the Trevor Project to make sure LGBT youth have a continuum of service. On behalf of our board of directors, staff, and over 800 volunteers, we look forward to working with nearly 50 community organizations represented here today, and with educators, administrators, parents, and students countywide to make our youth linked to the services they need and to empower communities to ensure a safe and secure environment for all students. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here, and let's hear it again for our LGBT Center. It's amazing they pulled this together. Carlos, in Dallas next Saturday. It's important, I'm learning, as you get older, to develop younger heroes, and I got to meet one of my newest heroes in life this past July. Constance McMillan is a teen in Mississippi who just wanted to go to prom with her girlfriend. Remember Constance? She was told no. They even shut down the entire school prom so that she couldn't take her girlfriend. But she fought. She brought a lawsuit with the ACLU. And we won in court. And the school and the parents and the community then organized a fake prom, and her and her 6 friends to the fake prom while all the other kids were across town at the real prom. Constance found out about this as she hung out at the diner with her friends afterwards, and the kids from the real prom started to pour in and telling their stories and showing their pictures. So, in wanting to talk to you tonight, I asked Constance by email, actually by Facebook email, what she would say to you. And she said, "I would tell the kids that so many people out there care about them. We realize it's hard, but instead of giving up, join with the other people that have been through it in the fight to end harassment and discrimination and to achieve full equality, because each one of you can use your individuality and diversity to push even further into the change. You are worth so much. Don't end your fight so soon." And this is a girl who was fighting in Mississippi where she had no support from the community like we do here. You know, what's interesting about Constance's case is that her victory in court was actually based on the First Amendment, her right to freedom of expression, to express herself as LGBT and go to the prom and to wear a tuxedo. And the First Amendment, though it protects this freedom of expression of bad guys equally as the good guys, as the people whose expression we like, it also gives every school district, UCSD, every government agency the free speech right to lift its voice in support of a safe community, to address hate speech when it occurs, to foster discussion and debate, to root out the bigotry that underlies the hate speech and the types of bullying and harassment that we know. And furthermore, the First Amendment does not prevent schools. In fact, schools are required to stop bullying and harassment. Paula Rosenstein and Bridget Wilson, I don't know if they're here tonight. If you are, give a shout. But they proved this to a local school district recently up in North County when that school failed to stop the bullying and harassment of an LGBT youth. And the school district paid for it, and we supported that lawsuit in a brief. So what we have to do tonight is make sure that every school district and every school is lifting its voice for a safe community, for a supportive community that is taking measures to root out harassment and bullying, that there are discussions about the bigotry that's underlying these problems. And we've got to do that not only in San Diego Unified and the rest of San Diego County, but down in Imperial County, where a few of us were out there last December when Imperial County voted to join the Prop 8 lawsuit on the wrong side. And let me tell you, those LGBT kids in Imperial County are scared to death. They're scared to death, and we've got to make that place safe for them as well. So it's not like Jane Dobson's organization says as part of a gay agenda to try and get these policies against bullying. It's because it's the right thing to do. That's right. It's the ethical thing to do. It's the moral thing to do. And every school district and every school needs to take that to heart. And we're here to help Nicole and the whole team to make that a reality. Thank you. You.